So last week I took a bicycle ride on my Koga Miata, and then this happened. Yeah, that's a real problem. I already knew the tires were bad. I noticed that when I replaced the chain last winter. Especially the sidewall was pretty rough. The magnetic strip is also letting go, but I no longer need that. I was cycling over a bridge and I was freewheeling and I felt a bump coming from the rear tire, and a couple of kilometers later I had to walk, which isn't a big deal because I did bring my mobile phone. Yeah, I'm still not using a smartphone. I don't want to turn into a smartphone zombie. These, by the way, are Swalp Marathon Racers, and I think these might be the original pair. I don't know. I didn't get the bicycle new. As you can see, the front tire is still okay, although I'm pretty certain at some point this was on the rear. And just like the other tire, the magnetic strip on the side of the tire is also letting go. I've been happy with the Swalp Marathon Racer tires on my Koga Miata bicycle. They really work very well. So I bought myself a new set of Swalp Marathon Racer tires, and these are normal tires, classic tires with a metal bead, so these are not foldable, but they are reasonably light tires. I believe about 500 gram per tire. And if you're going to save weight on a bicycle, you better do it on the tires or the wheels, or maybe take a good dump. Because the inner tube came through the tire, I also bought myself a set of new latex inner tubes, and these should have a better ride quality, but I don't know, I never tried out latex inner tubes. They are really thin, and they should also lose more air than normal rubber tires, but I'm okay with that. I always inflate my tires before I use this bicycle, because I don't ride it that often. Alright, let's install these. Let's start with the front tire, so I can avoid that dirty chain just a bit longer. This is going to be a pretty straightforward job. I just need to make sure I got the rotation direction right, but that should be doable even for me. The tire is a bit misformed. I guess that happened probably in storage. These are seamless, very light. The tire I bought is 35 millimeters wide, and I hope these are also wide enough, but I think they are. I just noticed that there is no thread on this valve stem. That's strange, because now I cannot screw on this ring. I wasn't expecting that. Let's put a little bit of air in this pink snake. See what happens. Well, that's pretty much as expected. Nothing strange or spectacular there. I'm finding these latex inner tubes kind of small. Yeah, smaller than I expected. That might be a problem to install, but we will see how this goes. I don't think it will be a good idea to put any more air in here when installing. Okay, I think it should be easier if that inner tube was just a little bit bigger, but it should work out. I've let some of the air go, and that made it a bit easier. This last bit is giving me some grief, but I got it. And I wonder if it became more difficult because of this well, damage, misforming, not sure how to call it, but I guess it's time to inflate the tire. Look at that, because of the small size of the inner tube, it is sitting really close to the rim tape and not inside the tire. I'm hoping that will change once I start inflating the tire, but it is something I need to pay close attention to. I am kind of missing the valve stem ring, because it is now very easy to push in the valve when installing the bicycle pump. Although I do not think this will be any kind of big problem. And because of the height of the rim, the valve stem should line up nice, not at an angle. Little bit of air. And I think it looks good. There's the latex inner tube, and yeah, this is the section of the tire that got a bit misformed, but I don't expect it'll be a problem. Alright, moving on to the rear wheel, and the only thing different on the rear wheel will be trying to avoid the dirty chain. I just touched it. After a short fight with that small inner tube, it's time to place the wheel back into the frame. There you go. It really took 6 hands to get that rather springy small inner tube inside the outer tube. Okay, ready. And yes, I did get my hands dirty, but that's okay because the job's done. I just installed what probably is the world's worst bicycle computer. This thing is way too complicated and crappy, but somehow the temperature is now correct. In about 1,000 kilometers, if this thing survives, I will give you an update about how these tires and more importantly how these latex inner tubes have worked out. And I'll probably do that in a video on the Bicycle Shit Show channel. Anyway, that's it. Like, subscribe, and to be continued.